The BIPOC Coach Collective proudly presents Elevate and Celebrate. This is a podcast to showcase our members, dive deeper into their journeys, and express who they are into the world. Our mission is to curate a brave and authentic space for coaches to connect and to elevate our voices globally in the coaching profession. Learn more about us at bipoccc.org. Your story matters, your voice matters. Let's start the show. Happy New Year! It's Alex Dumas, Vice President of the BIPOC Coach Collective, and welcoming you to the first episode of 2025, Elevate and Celebrate. And I got a special guest with you. This is someone that I consider family. Her name is Brandee Brown. She's got a wealth, a depth, of an endless pool of connections, of collaborations, a resource for people. She is somebody who helps others magnify success. We're going to get into her company, her brand, her background, where she's going, what she's doing, and the impact that she's making in the world. And believe me when I say this is not because we're friends and I'm trying to hype her up or anything like that. I'm letting you know, like, when you watch this, when you listen to this, honestly, grab the pen, grab the paper, take notes, many gems in here because she's somebody who's experienced life and who's still managed to bring lightness, to bring a bright spot in many dark places. And as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a creator, we're going to experience a lot of that. If you haven't already, then buckle up, it's coming. And if you are in the middle of a storm, she is somebody who can help guide you out of there and through to your next breakthrough, to your next opportunity. So for our champion members out there, we're going to have our next facilitation call next week. Also tap in for the accountability calls that are coming pretty soon, and for the peer group coaching calls. And for anyone who's in our orbit but not quite a member yet, we still have our open house at the end of this month, and we're also going to be doing some more LinkedIn lives, the fireside chats, the Elevate and Celebrate offshoot. So all that said and done, tap in, enjoy this conversation with me and Brandee. One. All right, family, you get to hang out with my unofficial family. We got Brandee Brown in the
Woo!
house. Brandee, welcome to Elevate and Celebrate.
Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that you are here. We've had a wonderful connection, friendship over this past few months, and you are somebody who is what I would describe as a monster collector, right? There's people who are
Thank you.
connectors. There are people who collaborators, contributors, but like you are like somebody who's just like in this different realm of partnering with people and supporting people and uplifting people. So the number one question on my mind right now, before we get into like your real story and all that, is like, how'd you become that way? Like, why?
That's a really great question. And I believe that it's been the evolution of all of my experiences in my career. Of course, life. Life is a great influence and impact. And the life story is not always the easy story. So I can say the rough patches in the journey have really helped me understand how to leverage community because my rough story really was very close to me. It was, my immediate family. And so when I began to extend my reach to people, that weren't in my trusted world, my expected trusted world, as we all say, I learned so much about really embracing people. And so, as you talk about me being a collector and a connector, I love that collect and connect. That feels like me. And what I've began to understand is that when I think about LinkedIn connections, or I'm not on any other platforms as of yet, but I think I was sharing with you earlier, my people know me, they're going to text me. I don't just start relationships, I build them, I nurture them, and that those connections are strong because of that. And it really stems from life experiences, life thus far. And I'm almost a half century old, so I want to celebrate that. Just a good life.
It's a great life for sure. So yeah, this leads me into this path, right? The origin story, the journey as we call it, right? You have 22 years in background in Comcast. You're somebody who's, like I said, strategically partnering with different organizations, got a footprint, thumbprint everywhere you go. So tell us about your background. Like, walk us through this life of Brandee the builder.
Thank you. So interesting. I never expected myself to be at Comcast. I never forget my brother saying, "You got to come to this place and interview with this lady and just see if you get this role." And I thought, well, okay. 22 years later, I spent my career. If you hear an introduction from me just about anywhere, I tell people I did everything at Comcast but lay carpet. That is totally not true. But what I mean in that statement is that I've held a number of roles, leadership roles. I've been executive admin, I've been learning and development, quality assurance, and every one of those opportunities has been me behind the scenes helping people be the best version of themselves as a facilitator, as a coach, as an admin, as a project coordinator, program or project manager. And what I essentially learned in that 22-year stint, and even moving into this space that I'm in now, which we'll talk about shortly, is that I appreciate understanding what inspires, what encourages, what elevates people to be the very best version of themselves and then to activate. And so now I am soon launching Magnify Success, which speaks to that. How do I help you magnify? My slogan has a magnifying glass over the U and C in success. And that's, I want to magnify how you see success and bring that to the light. And when I think about the journey in my career, majority of my career at Comcast, that's what I've been doing all along.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Tell me about how you see success, right? What's your lens on it?
For me, success is not, although financials and money are important, right? They drive the world. We do
Yeah.
everything we do to make money, but that is not what success looks like for me. Generally, I'm a selfless person. When I can see someone else thrive because of my connection to information, my collecting and gathering people and bringing them together, understanding that an Alex needs to know this person, this person, this person, and watching all of that magic. And what I also like to use is the word magnificence. When I can see that happen, that is success to me. And I already know, my faith tells me that I will receive a return on my investment for doing just that. And it took me approaching this age to understand that that's what I needed to do. But as I've leaned into my purpose, my superpower, it's all coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. So what drives you to inspire people and to coach them and to lead them, right? I mean, you kind of touched on a little bit, but I always like to go layers deeper, right?
Let's go
Now, what
deep.
is that? What is that thing that when somebody has an experience with you, they walk away feeling clear, confident, and they're actually able to produce something, right? Execute on the things that you've shared with them. Like, tell me about what that, what's the payoff for you?
That's a great question, and I'm going to just jump back a little bit because I like the end piece with what's the payoff for me. But if I can go into the story that's led me here,
Yeah.
my introduction to the world was a bit abrasive. Let's go with that. It wasn't the best of worlds. I was born in Compton, California, and after 8 years of kind of rummaging through life, and life wasn't easy, without souring anyone's mindset with what that looks like. Everyone can envision being tainted or having a bumpy road. I learned what good does not look like very early on. And so moving to Colorado and then continuing to have exposure to uncomfortable circumstances throughout adolescence. As I entered the workforce, was a very young woman at the age of 21. I was walking through the doors at Comcast, 21, 22, somewhere in there. We're gonna don't go with age on that. Don't start doing calculations. Um, but I had exposure to these phenomenal leaders, and I could instantly observe and emulate what all of these great things felt like to me. But the most important thing that I noticed as well was I never had someone to guide my journey. I didn't have a financial advisor. I barely had someone to tell me I was supposed to be in school. School was an afterthought. And I tell people school was a refuge to me. That was a place for me to go to escape what was happening at home. And when I got home, it was what's next? What am I about to experience? So school wasn't a place where I was consuming information and learning, but I enter this world of career and trying to develop myself. And I realized coaches, mentors, people that support and hear your journey is necessary. And that's another piece. My journey was very unspoken. It was disregarded. It was pushed under the rug. It was hidden. All of that generational trauma. As I heard from a great friend yesterday, the circumstances were similar and the same that build up to life for me. So I didn't understand how to help myself until I began to allow myself to help people hear what's going on. I could see it in their face. I knew people could see pain in me, but I would ask questions. I would want to know what's going on and what words can I give you, or what action can I demonstrate that is going to take you out of this headspace. If you know anything about me and see everything, there's always light behind me. I will always find the light. The blessing and a curse that I'm an optimist to a fault that was created from the bad that was within. And the only way I was going to survive was God gave me a mindset to say, you have to be a person that creates your own world of happiness. That's to a fault because I can push aside all of the bad, all of the negative, all of these things, and I will find light. But the other great piece to that, the blessing, is that I can help others find a light when they cannot. So that's where the coaching, mentoring, building, sustaining, and that fuels me. That's my fuel, fills my cup, fills my soul. That's enough.
Yeah. Oof. Hope whoever's watching this, whoever's listening, I hope y'all rewind that back and catch that because it can be very easy to have difficult circumstances, things beyond your control, right? Other people we can never control, and whatever that is, and have a sour attitude, right? Turn it into, well, the world's against me, so F the world. You
Absolutely.
are somebody who's like, I love what you said. I have to create my own light. I get to generate that. No one else is responsible for my activities and my attitude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I just add to that because you
Yeah.
reminded me of something amazing. I had a conversation with a young man yesterday. We both know him. We don't have to say his name, but we'll highlight him in another time. Um, but this gentleman, we talked about my instance, my exposure to substance abuse at an early age by way of family. So that was my witnessing, if you will, and observing all of these behaviors. And I said, what that taught me was I never wanted to expose myself. I have no problem with anyone else entertaining any of these different um, influences that can come within. But what I also learned was I never wanted to be someone who could blame my actions, reactions, or responses on something that was influencing me in a negative way or where I didn't have control over my outcomes. I own the good, the bad, the indifferent.
Yeah.
And if anything is tainting what's happening with that, I want to own that as well. And I can't if there's something that is augmenting what's happening in my mind. And that's essentially what I was experiencing as a young person. I was dealing with some augmented realities from everybody, coming from all angles, and no one could own their actions. And that had a pretty interesting impact on me. And as I always say, I wouldn't repeat any of those things. Don't even recommend it. Don't go through that life I went through, but I wouldn't take it away. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be who I am today without it.
No. And that's how I've experienced you as just somebody who just who they are, authentic, loving, caring, compassionate, and also determined, right? Determined to make an impact, make a change in the world, and that comes from our own self-ownership. And that's the if there's one quality a leader needs, right? It's just like that ability to own, to just be like, hey, it's on
Thank
me.
you.
I take this on, whether it's to a fault, right? Sometimes that's
Agreed.
that could be heavy, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown, but also we get to lead by example.
Love it.
Yeah. So you walk me through I'm like I'm no keep going like we're everywhere. This is how our
We
conversations go,
go
folks. So like
everywhere. Go all
we
over.
we we are all over the
I
place
told you I
when we need to
did
be.
everything but lay carpet, but we can go to the carpet.
So you oversaw a lot of projects. You got to see a lot of, let's just call it what it is. I don't want to say, I hate using these words, but good leadership and bad leadership. So walk us through
Absolutely.
what that's like when you have been experienced, when you've experienced somebody who's been exceptional, that things have run smoothly, and then others were like, man, what is this person doing? What are they thinking? They're not seeing the big picture here. Like,
Mm.
what are those stories like?
I've had to take time and sit with all of that noise after departing Comcast, because I believe when I was in the heart of things, I like to tell people that I was working under the status security blanket. What that means to me is that every level of my career, I was establishing a certain status and comforts. That was home life, that was work life as well. And in that space, I'm operating and doing what I need to do to maintain. Right. And I think that's everyone's world. And so the observation of truly understanding the good leaders, the bad leaders, and indifferent, in the moment you feel like, I don't know if that's a great leader. And the reason I say that is because some of the leaders I felt that were bad, we're going to put that in quotes.
Yeah.
Guess what? Maybe they weren't bad. Maybe there were opportunities for me to grow, and I needed to reflect on why there are these repetitious actions or behaviors taking place. Why this person loves me. I'm a hugger. I've heard from many leaders, you're an easy person to like. You're outgoing, you hug, you want to talk to people. So the people that like me just enjoy those things. Those are the easy leaders. So the easy leaders to receive. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to do the work anyway. I'm a Black woman. I'm going to get it done and I'm going to earn and achieve. I'm going to be among the best at whatever it is I do. Whatever it is you give me. I can't say what's not to like, because there's always, not everybody likes everybody. So that doesn't feel fair. But then you get to this reflection of bad leaders. And so that now I'm going to kind of paint that picture where I could really zoom out and understand the good leaders. The good leaders were challenging me, right? The good leaders were pushing me. The good leaders potentially were the ones not mentioning a promotion, not pushing me in regards to how I was performing, but yet allowing me to step up and acknowledge that I know who I am and how I need to move. The leaders that liked me saw things in me and tapped me. And don't get me wrong, they blessed me with amazing opportunities, movement, and all these things. But now I kind of revisit this bad leader or this embrace. Were there leaders who were intentional or subconsciously unintentional about saying, you need to know who you are. You need to know what you bring to the table. You need to knock down this door and come in this room, even though I didn't invite you. And so, as I really think about Comcast, I had a number of them. I did have some that treated me differently, put me in very, very uncomfortable circumstances, uncomfortable rooms. There was a time when I was moved from one seat in the very front of this site because I supported an executive, and I was moved to the very back, facing the wall, facing away from everyone, and still supporting executives. Now, that's a pretty drastic move visually.
Yeah.
What I was able to uncover was this leader later brought me into the room to talk about this transition, this role, all of these things. And through that, I had to stand strong. I had to say, leader, these are the things that are making me uncomfortable. You're pointing out your view on this transition and how I'm handling being shifted and what this looks like when I'm having people tell me I look like I'm on punishment or in timeout. And I'm a grown woman, right? I'm
Yeah.
well over 40 at that time. Um, and yet I'd never had the opportunity in my career to stand up and say, this is what the experience is for me, and this is what you're creating. It was a challenging situation, and the leader had not thought of my experience. And yet, in the end, we both aligned on our opportunities together because I was now given this opportunity to stand strong, stand in my voice, stand in my beliefs, and say, this is not right. This is what I feel. This is what I'm experiencing. And I have to appreciate that now. I do. So many instances. And then I wonder, of course, I'm a woman of color. Is this because I'm a Black woman? Is this because I don't have these credentials? Is this because I don't speak the same way this person does in the room? That's when I learned about the collective. I'm gonna use that word. I see it down there. The connection, and connect and collect. Am I connecting with the right people? And are we together in a collective, right? In this agreement, and it helped me maneuver. It helped me move. It helped me transition, for instance, from customer experience to construction and engineering. I am no way, shape, or form an engineering person. I was there. I was there holding it down. Um, but I just began to learn my way around the business, around the good, the bad, the indifferent. The good leaders embraced, ensure I made moves, brought me into great rooms, didn't silence my voice. But again, that all had to do with things that I believe also were comfortable for them based on them knowing me. And so I really appreciate that question because I will continue to reflect on that as my career moves forward. So I revisit the word bad leader. Just
Yeah.
something for me.
Yeah. Maybe we'll put him as ineffective leader.
There you and they've been there, but I appreciate the learning moments that I've had. I learned that as I tell people today, I'm gonna go ahead and put on these gloves and box till round 12 because I was trained to fight, right? And for whatever reason, I would throw in the towel or allow someone else to throw in the towel for me, save
Ooh.
me from a situation. I'm reporting to this leader, that's my friend and confidant and support. This is what's happening, this is unsettling, and a new opportunity would present itself, which is amazing, right? That's the good leader, that's what I expect. But I think I was supposed to stay here and fight, you
Mm.
know? I want to be the Tyson, the Spinks, the Muhammad Ali. Let me be that because I'm supposed to come out of this a little bit bruised and scuffed, but I'm going to walk away with that belt, right? So that's how I'm revisiting that space in my life. I'm coming back to it. It's going to be a
Brand,
comeback.
no, you Brandee the builder, Brandee the belt holder, right? That's
My initials are BBB. Don't get it
hey.
twisted.
Man.
Don't get it twisted. Okay. And that's real. That's real talk. Anybody can look me
Yes.
up.
That is, oh God. I'd love to play with this idea, this forecast of magnify success, right?
Mm.
What do you want your client's experience to be like when they're with you? I have an idea, but I'd love for you to just,
Woo.
right? We gonna make it concrete. You're gonna have the billboard, the blimp going across. Like you hear with Brandee, this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like.
So I've been thinking about this for months, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with, and I feel like I've mentioned it to you, but the Godfather
Yeah.
on Netflix, Clarence Avant. So I've witnessed this man in rooms, and if you listen to him, he says, I don't even know how people cut checks for the work that I do, and I can't believe that they are paying me to do this. And his role over time, there's no definition to a Clarence Avant. And people continue to ask me, what is it you see yourself doing? And I continue to say, helping people, providing them with tools and resources to magnify their success. And when I use those two words, think about how broad that can go. Tools and resources can be any bit of information that is within this mind, or more importantly, as you talk about that connection piece, what's in Alex's mind? What's in all of this network and community, this connective tissue that I have? If you can be cast out onto my web and have access to that, that is what I want to provide. And to me, there is no label to that. And I completely understand why people couldn't identify who Clarence Avant was to them because he would bring people into rooms, he would negotiate offers, he was known in every faction of any type of business. Everyone wanted his voice as a coach, as a confidant, as an expert, as a connector, as a collaborator. Help us move this forward. That is truly what I desire to do. And Magnify Success will be that. Anyone who knows me knows that you can call me, yourself included. And if you want to brainstorm, you have something top of mind, you're thinking of a business name, you just need life support, you need a shoulder to cry on, you need a great hug. I can give some amazing hugs. I really do. I don't want there to necessarily be a limit to what Brandee Brown offers. And I already know my faith tells me that there will be a return on investment for any contribution that I make. So Strategic partnerships seem to be the current way that people embrace. How do I keep you close and work with you? I could be a strategic partner with anyone who is willing to work with me because that's how I see us working together.
Yeah.
So there's a number of things, but magnifying success, just getting you to where you want to be. How do I help you get out of your way? You have the tools. Alex, Brandee, we all do it within. So a coach can't do the work, right? A coach is on the sidelines, they're cheering you on, they're making sure you're practicing, they're encouraging. They might be throwing your water away so that you activate a little more. They're going to push you to your limits, provide you with tools, provide you with resources. And on game day, they're your biggest cheerleader. That is what I would like to be for any and everyone in need of their success being visualized.
Yeah. And as you speak, more of these nicknames come to mind, right? Brandee the
Still
bear
more.
hugger, and
I got it all. I'll take them all.
and even going into like my autograph, my signature phrase I call when I'm doing keynotes, building a bigger bubble, Brandee the bubble builder, right? Just this person who
Mm,
expands networks, person
okay.
who,
Using those BBBs. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
all the alliteration or the alliteration. What?
Ooh,
What?
I like it. I
What?
like it.
Bars.
I appreciate it.
So as we're here kicking off this 2025, right? If we
Absolutely.
fast forward to the end of the year, what is going to be exciting that you have created?
Well, Magnify Success will be in full motion. Do I use that word? Because this
Yeah.
movement, this is initiative work, this is people work. So it's motion. It's not just and activated, connecting with people. That's right. We're moving.
Uh,
And I used to roller skate, so that actually works really well. Um, I love that Magnify Success is growing strategic partnerships. Expect, I don't just anticipate, I just don't see, I expect to have additional partnerships where I'm helping people thrive and they're doing the same with me. Additionally, I am so passionate about serving on nonprofit boards. How can I give back? I want to help everybody better. It doesn't matter where you are. I have recently been appointed CU Boulder Lead School of Business Customer Experience Program Advisor, and that will be activated in 2025. Super excited about that. Additionally, the WICT Network Rocky Mountain chapter, of course, I'm affiliated with and embrace the national experience. And for Rocky Mountain chapter, I will be announced as vice president.
yeah.
2025, 2026. Thank you. And continuing so many ventures that I have, working in partnership with Dreams Alive Club in Botswana, working in partnership with Nancy Arabaye in Atlanta with Leadership Gala and the Hidden Genius Project, and a choir agency with Keyshawn Blackstone, so many others. I'm missing names, but I just really needed to throw out a few amazing partners that I'm excited to continue to work with, grow, and we thrive together, just stitching together the fabrics and community and really helping everyone that is in, let's say, disregarded communities, disregarded spaces, be seen. I want them to see success. And when we disregard them, that there are not those opportunities. So how do I bring everybody into that light I was talking about?
Can you see, right?
Can they?
Success.
Thank
And,
you.
and this is what I love about you. You're so humble and relaxed, but like, I don't know if everybody's caught like that, those mini flexes right there. It's like, yeah, I'm just, I'm doing
Relax,
this. I got
play.
this. I got this person in my Rolodex. I can push this button and access these types of individuals. And that comes from a lifetime of nurturing people, serving people, and also bringing something to the table too, right? It's I think we're a lot similar where we give, we want to support people, we cheerlead.
Absolutely.
That's why the title of the chapter of the book I wrote, Everybody Wins, including me. I got to remember, like, oh yeah,
Ooh,
I'm included.
you
I'm a
are.
part of this whole deal too. So I love that you get to facilitate change and also receive at the same time. It's a beautiful exchange.
Thank you. Thank you. That is most certainly important to me. And I appreciate, I have to name drop a little bit, a couple of leaders that recognized that ability in me when maybe I was in, let's not call it a dark space. I was hiding behind my own shadow, little industry bruising, had a little fall and I had to get back up.
Yeah.
But a Monique Davis and Jen Buck, those names.
Hey.
Um, talk to me in a day as I was moving right into like a homeward bound space. I was moving into a bit of a health scenario, so I needed to be home for a bit. And their words of encouragement were, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you connecting with community? Why don't you have this service? Um, the questions that illuminated in that moment that I couldn't really envision until months later, almost 6 to 8 months after having that conversation with both ladies, let me know that community, connection, bear hug, bringing bringing everything full circle. But really, my gifts, my superpowers are very people centric and oriented. And if I didn't take note of the opportunities that they were sharing, that I see this in you, and why isn't your people element truly shining through? What are you going to do with that? That's how Magnify Success just came to light. So I'm really excited to have had voices in my ear yet again, not tapping me. They weren't having me throw in any towels at all. But it was, I think you're missing this piece. They became one of the coaches. Then, of course, I met Alex, and Alex was the coach, right? But everyone was saying the same thing. And it was like everyone outside the ring was shouting one name. They were shouting Brandee. So can I share a favorite lyric with you, a music lyric?
Yeah, yeah, share away.
So I am an Evanescence fan, and I
Hey.
absolutely love the song "Bring Me to Life." And there's a portion in the song that says, "Call my name and save me from the dark." Now, most people who introduce me, yourself included, say this beautiful name. I was born a different name. I won't give airtime to maiden name. I was born a different name. And then I met this amazing man who saved me from circumstances, who brought me into a new headspace. And 30 years later, here we are still together. Um, so I inherited the name Brown, Brandee Brown. And do you know, every time people say my name, they say Brandee Brown. And calling my name brings me from the dark. And I do that for everyone else. So me hearing from this community, Brandee Brown, why aren't you? Brandee Brown, you should be. The name itself ignited and activated everything in me to take that pain and translate it to magnificence. And it's been nothing but that since.
You talking about a name drop, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the mister. I'm gonna call him Charlie just because I want to be silly.
Do it.
Someone out there's gonna be like, Charlie Brown. Like, they did not even get it. Anyway.
Oh
Oh,
my goodness, to the mister.
man.
Mister? Yeah,
Uh,
I understand that all too well. But yes, the journey's been quite interesting, and it's not over. I'll continue to learn, continue to be better, continue to find ways that I can help support people. And I can't always put a label to that. And I'm actually proud of that. I don't know that I want to be in a box. Don't give me a box. Help
Brandee
people
the
says a whole
Unboxed.
lot. That's who I am.
Mm.
I want to do those two words, help people. And guess what? You get to tell me what that looks like. I don't tell you what that looks like. You call it out, I guarantee you we're going to find a resource. And it's probably not me, but we're going to find it together.
I love that commitment, and I think that's a perfect way to close this out and wrap this up. Brandee, on behalf of whole collective, anybody who's watching, anybody who's been blessed to watch us and really pay attention, hopefully I'll taking notes because this is game right here for free.
Thank you. Thank you. Game for free. I appreciate that.
Where
I'll
can we
take it.
connect with you? Where can we just hang on to the Brandee coattails and ride the wave with you? Where can we find
I feel like I'm supposed to have some logos floating or something
you?
happening in the air, but connect with me on LinkedIn. I am growing my social space. I had embraced that a little bit. So soon I will be accessible on Instagram and Facebook. Slow immersion, slow
What?
introduction. Yeah, right,
Brandee got me
right.
on Facebook, yeah.
Hey, I'm moving in big spaces and places, but and still maintaining that consistent brand of really just being eager to magnify success. Brandee Brown will have to be there because that's a necessity, but most certainly on LinkedIn, and you may see me around the community, different speaking engagements, opportunities. I'm very invested in nonprofits, so you never know what event I could pop up at.
You're looking. You keep your
Yeah,
eyes open, ears to the scanner. So,
absolutely,
Brandee, want to thank you, appreciate you. Thank you for just being in my world, right? For being an
absolutely.
ambassador for people. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all are. We're all just trying to do the same thing, live a great life, take care of our families, and make an impact. And
I
you are
love it.
somebody who does that, embodies that.
Thank you so much. Well, it's a pleasure to know you, Alex. We've just had the greatest connections, and then to find out that my very first, can I just share this with the world, first podcast ever that I was willing to agree to, Alex Dumas, BIPOC Coach Collective. Let's go.
Let's go.
Very first.
So, folks, we're going to tap in next month, February, Black History Month. 3 year celebration of this collective being what it is in this membership space. And until next time, take care, stay blessed.
Thanks for watching this episode. If you got value from this, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. And feel free to connect with us at bipoccc.org. See you next time.